Hey, it's Jose, and in this video I'm going to be going through some of my old fan art drawings. So I had a lot of fun doing the video where I went over some of my art from high school and college, and I wanted to go through and do another video similar to that one. In this one I'm going to be covering some of the fan art I've done over the years. I do want to apologize if my voice sounds weird. I've been sick for like 3 weeks now and it is not going away, but I'm gonna keep making videos because why not. So first, here is a Princess Leia sketch I did. I got this gray tone paper and I wanted to test it out using pencils, and I actually use a white charcoal pencil for the white areas, and similar to this one I made this one right here of Virginia Mills from Once Upon a Time. They were a lot of fun. For these two, I remember timing myself and giving me only about half an hour to draw them, so I think they came out pretty well for only being half an hour. Moving on, this one is quite old. This one's probably around 2009-ish, I will say. This one's Watercolors, Zero Samus. I really enjoyed the character. And let me change something because it doesn't look like the camera is actually working right. Let me come in here and no. There we go, that's more like it. For some reason the saturation was way down. Okay, so here she is. Seriously, Samus. This was done with watercolors, and the background I used acrylic to get the black on there. The proportions could use some help, but moving on. I did this too for a small video testing out some new watercolors that I used that were really bright. As you can see, they are extremely brightly toned. This is not the best paper, it's just sketch paper, so didn't do too well with the watercolors. But we have Mulan and Pocahontas. Here are some sketches. This is a sketch I did of Jessica Rabbit. I was thinking about doing a painting of these two right here, and here's Rosalina, not Elsa, but Rosalina from Mario Galaxy games. I wanted to do something similar to what I did with the Seriously Samus one, but never got around to it. These two are watercolors that I did probably around the same time, 2009 or so. So watercolors of Link and Princess Zelda. They're based more on the Twilight Princess designs, but kind of my own take of it. I like how she came out a lot better than he did. I feel like back then I was more comfortable doing female faces than male faces. He looks a little uninterested, to say the least. Alright, moving on. This is pretty old acrylic painting I did of Superman. Again, trying to just kind of, for this one I tried to do a couple of them. I think this is the only one I have around. I tried to do a couple of characters where it was some sort of close-up where you only saw certain parts of the character and you kind of knew who it was just by some very iconic parts of the characters. Here is a painting I did of Darth Maul. This was after the times that I were doing face painting around that time, and one of the faces that were really popular with young kids was the Darth Maul face. So after doing about 1,000 or so of those, I'm like, I can do that painting in acrylic quite easily. Next, I have a drawing of Ariel, pencil drawing of Ariel being all cute and sassy. This I made for a friend that ever since middle school he always wanted for me to draw a princess mermaid for him, and then I did, and then I tried to give it to him, and then he stopped talking to me for some reason. So yeah. So next I have a big stack of drawings I made using markers. I had someone asked me one time, "Hey, I like the way you draw. Do you ever do stuff with markers?" And I was like, "No, I hate doing markers." And he said, funny. A lot of people like using markers. How come you don't?" And that just kind of stuck with me a little bit. So I decided to go out and get myself a set of Prismacolor markers because I like their pencils, and I kind of did a bunch of stuff using them, so I got a little bit better at them. So here is the Grinch and Max. This was one of the first ones I did, and I was just trying to get used to it. As you can see, it doesn't have much shade into it. I think I got a little bit better after that. Here is Tarzan and Jane. I was trying to work on outlining as well because that was something that I was not very comfortable doing at the time. Here is some more Disney stuff. Abu and Maui, and as you can see, I struggle a little bit with getting the color to be very evenly saturated, which later on you would see it was not really the marker's fault but my own. Here is Ellen Ripley and an Ellen behind her. For this one I kind of went with a little bit more stylized style with bigger head, and I did try to work a lot on the shading on the clothing, and then also use negative space in the background and minimal shading for the alien. Here is Darth Maul again. This one again a little bit stylized, a bigger head. I was not too confident I could get all the detail in this smaller piece of paper of the head, so I kind of did a similar style as I did with Ellen Ripley. They have like huge heads. Here's one that I really enjoyed and took me forever. Sora, Donald, and Goofy from Kingdom Hearts. This one is Amaterasu from the wonderful game Okami, and I did this one not so much to get used to the coloring, but more as a way to figure out how to use a brush pen for the outline, because on all the previous ones you have seen, the outlines are pretty minimal and just straight on, same thickness throughout. So I wanted to play around with the brush pen and try to get some thick and thinner lines throughout and show a lot of weight and dynamic outlining on this one. This one I actually use color pencil for the green dress and the shoes because I didn't have the right color for the markers. Here is Rosalina, not Elsa. So many people are like, "Oh look, it's Elsa with a weird thing. How come she's not playing with snow?" It is Rosalina with Aluma from Mario Galaxy. And the dogs are going crazy. Nothing happened, it's just the dogs barking because that's what they do. Okay. Next, I have Paper Mario and Paper Peach. I love the way that these characters are designed because it really shows a lot with minimal eye design, and just the thicker outlines and the proportions really just show a lot of characteristics that are very unique to these versions of these characters. So yeah. So next we have Splatoon, and just a lot of fun with all the colorations. I believe usually on this setup for the first game, the paint splatter and the squid person usually was always depicted as green, but again at that point I didn't have that many green markers, and the green on the gun and the backpacks are actually done with color pencils as well. But after that I did go ahead and get some better green markers. Here is Midna from Twilight Princess, one of my favorite characters ever. Didn't have the right color for the glowing parts of her body tattoos, so I used green for that, but I really like experimenting with the gray tones for the helmet. I think that came out pretty neat, in my opinion. Next we have Sailor Moon, followed by Kid Goku with his tail and the Nimbus. Lots of fun, just the bright saturated colors. I think that's the thing that really made me appreciate the markers, was being able to do things like this and just have those really beautiful saturated colors. Here is my conscience. Jiminy Cricket. Love the eyes, how they came out. I think the eyes are my favorite part in this guy. But again, just getting those bright saturated colors and playing a little bit here and there with the shading. Followed by Simba, because he is awesome. And then this cutie right here, we got Ash, Ketchum, and Pikachu hugging each other. And I believe next we're going to be seeing more Disney stuff, a lot of prince and princesses couples, because why not? Again, I took this more as practice, and I kind of went overboard once I realized that, hey, I can do this pretty fast. I think for a while I was doing like 3 or 4 a night, just to practice, and I was playing with different forms and styles and playing with different techniques to kind of get used to them. I think this is one of the first ones that I did because Aladdin's one of my favorite Disney movies. Here we got Meg and Hercules. This one I did a little bit later, and you can probably see just style wise I kind of stuck to something similar, but the way the shading's on the dress and on the skin is a little bit more advanced. We got Ariel and Prince Eric. Ariel with feet, because I had no idea how I was going to do the tail fin. We got here Priest Naveen and Princess Tiana under beautiful dresses. So for this I remember having to go out and specifically getting some green markers, and I got a couple of different ones because I did a lot of layering of colors, because the green tones on their outfits are very close but very distinctly different, from like his pants to his jacket to her dress, her gloves, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to capture that. I didn't want for everything to look the same color. And then I tried to do the glittering spots on her dress, which I was not that successful at. We got Mulan. Again, beautiful colors, beautiful shading. And then I went to some bigger paper for a couple of these ones. We got here Esmeralda and Quasimodo. We got Moana and Heihei. I have a little blind dog that we call Heihei because he likes to bounce around and bump into stuff like Heihei does. And sometimes he put his foot bowl down and then he'll start trying to eat at the wrong spot like he does in the movie. So, fun stuff. Then we have Lilo and Stitch. And I think the last one for this batch is going to be the Majora's Mask Skull Kid design. This one I took my time with, and I really wanted to experiment a lot with it. I don't think you can you see it on the camera? Not really. But I used a very pale yellow pen, maybe on the shoes you can see. Just not really picking it up. It's very faint though, but around certain areas I kind of went around and did a very, very light kind of glowing effect. If I go like this, no, it's not showing up. It's not showing up. What if I turn the light down? Maybe the light's too bright and that's why it's not showing up. That light's off. So that's not showing on the camera. But I did a little kind of like very pale yellow kind of outline around it, but it's not showing up. Plus it's a little faded over time. But for this one again, I only went for the shading, and that game, the art that was used, the promotional art was very distinctly designed to have this very nice rigid extreme shading to it, and I wanted to play around with the markers, and I'm really happy how this came out. I think this is my favorite one of them all. So yeah, this is some of the fan art I did. Now I've done some fan art paintings that I want to do a video like this one as well, but I have to figure out how I'm going to make that happen because most of them are quite large, and yeah, it's not as easy as just doing this. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Like, subscribe, all of that. If you notice on the top right here, I created a Instagram page dedicated just to my art. My other Instagram page is still there. I just have a lot of cosplay stuff and just a lot of stuff on that one. So I wanted to create a Instagram page just for my art, so make sure you guys check it out. I will be posting art daily on there until I run out of art to post. I do have a lot of years of art to post. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye. Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to like it, leave a comment below, and for more art related videos, go to my channel and subscribe.